Most of people are scared of coming home to an empty house. Silence, no one there. But I came home early that day, and I wish with everything in me that the house had been empty instead, because what I walked into changed everything. If you enjoy powerful real life story like this, make sure you subscribe. There are more coming and it only gets deeper from here. Warren Trevor was 54 years old, tired and ready to sleep in his own bed. His Denver conference had ended early, so he decided not to tell anyone. He wanted to surprise his wife, Cassandra. It was a quiet Tuesday afternoon when he pulled into the driveway. That's when he saw the car. Preston Gore. His son was 26, married, and had no reason to be there in the middle of a weekday. Warren paused, still holding his keys in his hand. Something felt off. He walked inside, and there they were. Preston and his wife, Linda, sat sitting on the couch, not talking, not moving, just sitting there in silence. Warren stepped in fully accepting shock, confusion, something. But Preston did not react. No dad, no surprise, no moment. Just a slow controlled blink. Warren would later say, pay attention to the moment, that blink. That's when everything changed. A cold feeling still in his chest. Preston finally spoke, calm, too calm. Mom had an episode she acted mercy general. That's what's it. No detail, no panic, just word. Warren turned around immediately. 11 seconds later, he was back in his car, already dialing cut. His closest friend, the one person he trusted to think only. By the time he reached the hospital, his hands were shaking. Inside, everything moved fast. A doctor met him, Beverly Nash. Her voice was carefully, Mayor, it is not a sudden illness. She said we are seeing signs of toxicity, something that's been building. Warren felt the ground shift under him. This was not random. This was not an accident. Something had been happening inside his own home. If you want to know what really happened next, make sure you subscribe because this is only the beginning. Warren finally reached the ICU. Cassandra lay there, pale, weak, almost unrecognizable, like something had been slowly taken out of her. He stood beside her bed, leaned close and whispered a promise. I'm going to find out. Then he walked back out. Preston and Lindsay were waiting. Warren looked at his son for a long moment, and instead of shooting, instead of breaking, he pulled out his phone and locked every single bank account they had access to right there. Instantly, Lindsay's perfect polite smile disappeared, gone. In that moment, Warren did not see his family anymore. He saw something else, something hidden, something dangerous. And one question burned in his mind, how many of them are involved? Warren did not sleep that night. He sat in a hot hospital chair going over every detail in his head, every visit, every small moment he had ignored. Kurt arrived just before sunrise, came as always. He listened, then said one simple thing. Gradual means deliberate. That's what stuck. Deliberate. Warren leaned back and closed his eyes, and then it hit him. 4 months ago, Lindsay had started coming out every morning, said she wanted to help Cassandra after her ankle injury. Breakfast, tea, vitamins. Warren had trusted her. He had thanked her. He had opened the door himself. A cold anger started to build. Later in the waiting room, Warren faced Preston again. Same calm face, same stillness. She has been taking her vitamins, right? Preston said. Warren looked at him. His voice flat. Which vitamin? Preston froze. Just for a second. Then he looked at Lindsay, did not look back. She started down at her lap. 3 seconds. That was all it took. No shooting, no confusion, but Warren knew. Cut, duck, deeper. Bank records told the next part of the story. Small withdrawal, separate out, careful. $11,000 over 5 months. Never enough to trigger alarm. That's not panic. Kurt said quietly. That's planning. Warren made one call. Margaret Holloway. She did not hesitate. She did not soften it. She sounded almost energized. Send me everything. Then came the real bill. Kurt found it buried in paperwork. 6 weeks ago, Cassandra had quietly gone to an estate lawyer. She had made a change, a big one. Her $2.3 million life insurance policy, Preston, was removed. Every dollar redirected to a literacy foundation of underprivileged children. Warren felt his chest tight. Preston had found out, and there was 30 days processing period. 30 days. Cassandra collapsed with exactly 30 days left. Nothing about this was random anymore. If this moment shocked you, make sure you like and subscribe because what comes next the even more precious and far more dangerous. Warren did not yell, he did not accuse, he did not warn them. Instead, he made a decision quite clean final. Margaret began failing everything bank record, pharmacy receipt, toxicology reports, and then one last mistake. Preston had called the estate attorney from his own phone. Kurt looked at Warren and shook his head. Did you raise a genius or a complete idiot? Warren stared ahead, eyes cold. Somehow, he said softly, both. Cassandra woke up 2 days later. Warren was sitting beside her, barely moving, like if he did, she might disappear again. Her eyes opened slowly. She looked at him for a long second, then said, "When you look troubled." Hi, he laughed, actually laughed. It broke something heavy inside him. A few hours later, she glanced around the room and muttered, "This place feels like our kitchen wall, the color of a bureaucratic apology." That was Cassandra, still shocked, still herself, and somehow that meant everything. Later that afternoon, Preston and Lindsay walked in, smiling, gentle, careful, flowers in their hands like nothing had happened. Warren stood up, calm, steady. The police are on their way. No anger, no shooting, just truth. Preston faced Craig first, then Lindsay. They were still holding the flowers when the officer arrived. Margaret had timed it perfectly. The trial lasted 11 days. The jury needed 4 hours. Guilty on everything. Attempted murder, conspiracy, fraud. Warren sat beside Cassandra as the verdict was read. Her hand is tight, strong, alive. She leaned closer and whispered, "I want Thai food." So they went. Warren, Cassandra cooked. Margaret, Evan, Dad, Nosh. One table, real food, real laughter, and for the first time in a long time, peace. Later, Warren would say, "I don't wish the house had been empty. I just wish my son had been the man I thought I raised." But you cannot control what people choose to become in the dark. You can only control what you do when the lights come on.